We make the streams louder.
What's going on, guys? Basically today I'm gonna give you guys a couple tips on if you're looking to wire tuck your engine bay. Maybe you already have it wire tucked and you just kind of have it zip tied, just a couple of harnesses. So I have a couple items here that might help you out, and just a couple tricks, you know, might be good to know. So let's go check them out.
So you guys can see I have this body harness just kind of laying here, and it runs under the frame. This is, you know, my whole headlight connection and everything, this harness right here. I could technically leave it like that, but I just don't like harnesses laying like that, and I don't feel comfortable with it just sitting like that. So I have a solution if you guys have a similar issue like this.
So to basically fix that problem, or any kind of harness, or let's say you have like brake lines, clutch lines hanging anywhere, is with this one little piece. This is called a like a base plate. What do they call it? An adhesive backed mounting plate. This is basically perfect for zip ties. All it is, it's as if we could focus on that. It's just like a little base, exactly what they call it, but it has 4 openings on them. And what you do is you can use the double-sided tape on the back. It's mounted onto a frame, and then you'll run zip ties through it, through these little openings right here. And this is perfect for like those areas that are just flat and you have nowhere to mount anything to. Use a double-sided tape, mount it, put your harness under it, zip tie it on it, and you're good to go. One little tip though, I have been using these for the past couple months, and they keep falling off with just a double-sided tape. So what we're gonna do right now is, they also give you the option to like hard mount it with 2 screws. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start mounting these with self tappers, like regular black self tappers. We're gonna start drilling holes into our frame, mounting them up, remounting our harness, and you guys will see a difference. First things first, just like anything, before you start with any adhesive, make sure your mounting surface is clean. So this is all clean. I'm gonna start with mounting it with the double-sided tape first. Now it's mounted. I'm gonna start making my 2 pilot holes to get ready to throw some screws in it. Next up on our list of basically some wire tucking tips, we're going to stick with harnesses. I really hate electrical tape on harnesses. I just think it looks so tacky, and over the years that electrical tape just starts to get all, I don't know, what do you want to call it, like it starts to peel and get all brittle, and it comes off, and if you try to take it off, it just gets all sticky from the old adhesive on it. I got a couple solutions for that can make your harness look 100 times better, and people won't really know that it's this simple. But here's my engine harness. As you can see, it's in a braided loom that goes all the way from the back, and I did this. You guys can do this too. This is not an aftermarket harness. This is actually a factory harness that I just ended up redoing, and it's very simple. Well, you're gonna have to take your whole harness out, but as you can see from the, I'll show you an example at one of our connectors right here. So this looks like a crank sensor or something like that. Once you run your little braided loom into your harness, grab a little bit of heat shrink wrap at the end. It'll give it that clean look. And that's all it takes. And I'm gonna show you what the braided loom is and where you can get some. So here's the first line, or the first size I used, which was what, 1/4 inch. It's expandable braided sleeve. I guess that's a part number, that's a brand. I'll leave a link in the description, but this is what I used for the smaller wires, as you can see. And the good thing is, like I said, it's expandable. So what you're gonna do is you just kind of squeeze it or pull it, and then it'll expand, and then you can actually slide your harness through here. Now you are going to have to depin your connectors. That's the way I did it, to slide it on. That's very simple to do. Here's the second set I used. This was for a little bit of the thicker harness, but I'm not sure what size this is. Maybe 1/2 inch. No, oh yeah, it might be 1/2 inch. But here's this is expandable as well. So we use this for a little more if you're sliding maybe
a fatter bundle of cables through, maybe for battery cables, you can use this or your fuse box. Now this loom, this is what I use for the whole harness to actually run into the car. Here's a good example of how it's expandable. So I was able to slide this over the harness on the bigger ends, close it up, put some zip ties on it, and it gives it that aftermarket look that everybody likes for a tucked harness. So again, this is exactly what I was talking about with that bigger end. You just put a couple zip ties on it, space it out all the way, and it was so simple just to slide it over. If you actually want, you could probably just use this for your whole harness if you don't want to depin it. So that's one way to do a loom. I also have a second way to do one.
Like I told you guys, I hate electrical tape. I will never use it for a harness unless I really have to. The solution that I have instead of electrical tape, if you don't want to try to like redo your whole harness, is felt tape. Now felt tape is actually used on like German cars, so like Mercedes, Volkswagen, their whole harness is actually made out of this felt tape, and I use this on parts that I can't depin wires, or I can't really get to the loom that well. I'll show you a good example of what it looks like on a harness. So this is that same harness we were just working with the zip tie bases, but as you can see, this whole harness is actually wrapped up in that like felt tape, and on camera it's hard to really tell what it looks like, but this is way cleaner than having it all wrapped up in electrical tape, and it's another little thing that kind of just makes this harness disappear if you route it the right way. So that's just a good option if you guys want. I'll leave links in the description on where to find this felt tape, but I'd rather use this over electrical tape. Here's another look. This is another angle. So that's all I did was just run it. I always run tape or harnesses up to a certain point, and I like to leave a little bit of the wire exposed. If I ever have to diagnose something, I can still tell what color the wires are, or if I have to tap them. So that's another good tip to do, but it just looks so much cleaner than the normal electrical tape. The last tip I got for you guys is if you have any hard edges or have any sharp edges on your cars that could probably cut your harness or brake lines, there's a little trick you can get from like any auto parts store. It literally costs you like 10 bucks. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. So as you can see, I have the brake line right here, and it's actually just leaning on this little edge of the strut tower. And over time, if this just keeps moving up and down, it'll eventually like fray this line, and it can cause it to actually crack and possibly leak. So in order to prevent that, I'll show you a little it's like a little molding you can actually put right here that has a rounded edge on it, and you'll never have to worry about anything fraying any engine harness or brake line. So this is just kind of like body molding that they put on new cars when you buy them. So if you like swing the door open too far, and if you hit another car or another pole, this kind of prevents damage on the edge of your door. That's what we're going to use. And the reason why we're going to use it is if you look on the inside, one, it has double-sided tape, but it has like this little lip on it. That little lip will catch on that actual sharp edge of that strut tower, so it'll hold it tight. Put the double-sided tape on it, and then it will just have like a little rounded edge where nothing will fray. So let's just throw that on. So we're just going to basically size it up to where we want. That much. There's a pair of dikes. Chop up what you need. Now as you can see, since we had that edge curved, we put that on the inside. So now this brake line is leaning on this little body molding, and I don't have to worry about it fraying or anything. So you can use this on any sharp edge you have. Like I said, if you have an engine harness laying next to anything sharp, throw this little molding on and you won't have to worry about it fraying if it's moving up and down. So those are all the tips I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed them. They're very simple, so that was the good thing. Anything I used, I'll leave links of course in the description. You can also get them at some auto parts store, but It's just like those little touches that'll just help that engine bay look a lot better and a lot cleaner. So, you know, I look forward to seeing you guys put them up. Tag me if you use any of these. As always, guys, thanks for watching my video. Make sure you subscribe, share these videos, stay motivated, keep making these streets louder, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.